John Lasseter returns to the director's chair and made what many people think is the black sheep of Pixar. John actually based this on one of his favorite things as a child, being of course, cars. So years later, John made a movie about talking cars, which didn't do as well as previous films did. The story to Cars is about a world of talking cars. During a piston cup race, Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson, comes in a three-way tie with the King and Chick Hicks for the first time in Piston Cup history. The three racers are scheduled for another race in the finals for who officially wins the cup. McQueen wants to get to the destination before the other racers do, but while he was asleep, his tow truck, Mac, opens the door of the truck and makes McQueen realize that he was left behind. McQueen finds a small town named Radiator Springs on Route 66 and gets arrested for causing so much damage to the town. So McQueen gets put to community service in fixing the road until it's all done, and everyone outside of Radiator Springs is wondering where he is. This movie, to many people, like I said before, is considered this as the black sheep of the Pixar films. Yeah, I do think that as well, but I don't think it's that bad. I find some enjoyment from the story and the characters. Lightning McQueen in this film is like a character who is super famous and ends up in a dead-end town and hates it at first and wants to get out, but later on wants to stay as he enjoys the time he has after getting to know the cars that live there. Then there's McQueen's rival, Chick Hicks. He's such a huge douchebag, and I really don't like Chick. Let's move to a different character, shall we? Tow Mater, who is basically a comic relief type of character, but maybe he's doing his jokes a bit too much, since some of them have nothing to do with the plot. I can tell his actor loves the character, and I'm glad that he has some enjoyment from voicing Mater, but maybe he could have maybe toned down on the jokes a little bit. Another character is Sally, and she's basically the love interest to McQueen. She's not one of those women who say they won't get together, but then in the end of the film they do get together. That's pretty much every single Adam Sandler film. But she's more sassy and wants what's best for the town, even though she looks like a car from outside of Radiator Springs, which then leads to her backstory of how she ended up in the town and stayed there. The other town characters are fine, they don't overstay their welcome, and they do what you think they'll do once you see them for the first time. The most interesting character in Cars is Doc, who Lightning discovers that he was the fabulous Hudson Hornet, and we find out all about him, like how many piston cups he won, and why he didn't continue racing after one accident that happened when racing. I think my favorite moment in the film is when we have a whole flashback sequence to what Radiator Springs once was. A town full of people, and then went unheard of after a new road track was built, leaving it into what the town became when McQueen showed up. The animation is a little bit of a step up. I like that they did some detail into how the cars move. The landscapes look really realistic. The issue about it though is that the cars and how they look, with their front windows being where their eyes are, it's not too bad, but when you compare it with the backgrounds, it's very questionable. The music is actually not even better than the previous films from the studio. We have Randy Newman make his return as the composer, but some songs in the film aren't his work, like the ones we hear from rock bands or pop singers. They're decent, and I guess they're fitting for what scenes they're in, but I enjoy the music during the second act more. I will say though, I do love the song Life is a Highway. Cars, yeah, is the black sheep of Pixar, but I do have some enjoyment from the film. I may have not shown it, but yeah, there is some enjoyments, but if I do tell what the enjoyments are, then it could lead into spoilers in case anyone doesn't want any spoilers. I will say it's not as good as the other films, but it isn't as bad as people say it is. I would only say watch it if you want to watch a Pixar film and Cars is your only option, like if you're gonna watch it on TV or something. But that's if any other Pixar film isn't on. I wouldn't say skip it, but I wouldn't really want to recommend it at the same time. Best to make your own decision on Cars.